give to charity, become philanthropic. And if you're coming from an underserved neighborhood, you're more likely to have compassion and want to give and do something for those neighborhoods. I said, I'm sure this will be controversial. I said when I was an advisor for President Obama at this time, I wrote a piece, said that it was more important to have a black Bill Gates than a black president. And I meant it. Because the era of politics was the 20th century. The era of capitalism is the 21st century. The world's moved on. It's not about, in fact, government can't do anything without the revenue from the capitalists. If you had a black Bill Gates that people could emulate, go, okay, wait a minute, this dude is a 100 billionaire. He's created, 100,000 multimillionaires, and now you got, 200,000 people making six figures. And all those people are giving money to their church, their nonprofits, they're sending their kids to college, the ripple effect of all that, and then they're role modeling. Then they go off and start a business and buy a business, and now you had a whole new mindset of who you can be. You cannot have everybody trying to be T.I. or Jay-Z or Beyonce. It's not scalable. Everybody can't be Oprah. Literally, that's a person with 30 employees maximum. God bless what they're doing. You have 40 million black people. Probably the same amount of Latinos. We need engineers. We need mathematicians. We need computer scientists. We need stuff that's scalable and lasts over time. So it's a complete mind shift, right? We need a business plan. We are the business plan for America.
The future of America depends on diversity.
Quite literally.
That's right.
And I'm not trying to pick a fight. I'm not getting emotional. I'm passionate. I'm not getting emotional. To me, it's just math. What I love about this is the math is undeniable. It's not even close.
What was the other stat? There's not enough college educated.
Oh yeah, there's not enough college educated, successful white men that drive GDP, gross domestic product, for the next 30 years. I'll say it again. This is not in any way. Anybody want to listen to this and take a little piece of this and take it out and try to manipulate my words and say that John Bryant is race baiting? I'm going to say it again slowly. This is not racial. It's math. There are not enough college-educated, successful white men to drive gross domestic product for the largest economy in the world for the next 30 years. That's never happened in the history of the world. Never. In 1952, you could ignore black people. You could ignore Latinos. You could ignore Native American Indians. You could ignore white people. Rich white people could ignore poor white people. What are poor white people doing now? Rioting at the ballot box. Think about it. That's what's happening. It's never happened in the modern history of this country.
So when you say God has a sense of humor, it's simply because the institutional racism of this country will ultimately cannibalize this country.
Yes. And I think that COVID was a Noah's Ark moment. I think that we were heading down a path. We had a guy we had as president who based on the economy of 2019 would have got reelected because most people vote their pocketbooks. That would have been disastrous for democracy. I think God's like, you know what? I give you guys free will, but every now and then I gotta
intervene.
And within a year, think about this. Within a year, you had COVID that shut down. We've been shut down for 2 weeks. We were shut down for 2 years.
Right.
You could look down the street and there was literally nobody there. COVID, George Floyd. Now wait a minute. Everybody was watching it. Rich and poor, black and white, conservative and liberal. Why are we watching it? Because COVID had us at home looking at the news. If it wasn't for COVID, it'd be like, come on, baby, what's going on? I don't know, it was a horrible shooting in Minneapolis. Did you see it? I didn't see it. What time's dinner? On to something else. But everybody was watching it. That then created a social justice reckoning of black America. 63 billion to 300 billion, depending on how you look at the numbers, funded by the private sector, right? Which where DEI and all this stuff came from. We ain't seen that in 400 years. Then that led to the January 6th. We haven't seen that since the British attacked the Capitol, which has us all thinking about our role in democracy. Then you had, as a follow-on that, you had this Roe versus Wade. Now white women are pissed off. Everybody's now re-engaged in democracy, whether you like it or not. The only thing I give this former president credit for is he's got everybody focused on democracy. Because before that, nobody voted. So this year is a colonic. This year is one huge colonic. Like we're just flushing everything out, trying to figure out who we're going to be when we grow up. And if we want to be the continue to be the superpower in the world, we got to grow up and we got to realize we're better together. And this is, again, this is God, to me, this is God saying, you want to play a role in history, you want to be relevant, you want to be important, you want to know the world knew you were here, here's your time. Everybody listening to this has a role to play. This is the third Reconstruction, in my opinion, and it's about the green.
Listen, if y'all want more of this great information, man, go get John Hope Bryant's new book, Financial Literacy for All, Disrupting Struggle, Advancing Financial Freedom, and Building a New American Middle Class. And you can subscribe to John Hope Bryant's podcast, Money and Wealth with John Hope Bryant on the Black Effect iHeartRadio Podcast Network. John is also, it's a privilege to have him on the board of the Black Effect as well.
Absolutely. I'm deeply honored by that. And I really... Dolly, I'm so sorry. I should have been talking about my podcast. I love my podcast on your platform. This is my chance to have a ministry of hope. This is my ministry of finance once a week on Thursdays to make this really approachable. Like break it down, tell people how stuff works once a week, calmly, simply take one topic. I mean, what we talked about today, this interview is probably 30 different topics, right? And a lot of people went over their heads. They got to do it on replay, right? I have 1 million viewers a week on my videos, and most of them are just watching it over and over again. People are ashamed to admit they don't understand money. They're ashamed to understand that they don't. People, I've had adults tell me, like, what's a stock? What's equity? They're ashamed. They don't know what FDIC means, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. They don't know what SEC means, Securities Exchange, and no one taught them. And now we feel dumb. We are not dumb.
No.
If you're making it in America, you are a genius. And now through this Money and Wealth podcast, you can, have your own university in your pocket. I want to have 52 episodes that you can give to your daughter, give to your child, give somebody getting married, give to that new parent, the new couple who's about to buy a home, right? Just listen to this. Just listen, in your car, and make sure you are building a legacy in a life. And not just a bunch of generational debt. Right. Marriage came from business. It was not a romantic concept. Marriage came from families trying to figure out how to join their economic interests. Then couples even lived together. They lived in different castles, different rooms, right? We made this all about romance, right? And people, men are marrying girls from strip clubs and don't know nothing about them. She might be beautiful, but you might want to know something other than whether she's cute.
That's right.
When here's my drop the mic for this. When folks go to the club this weekend, and you see somebody who's fine, brothers and girls, you see a dude who's handsome, get the name, get the number. And at some point, say, what's your credit score? And I'm only partially kidding.
Ladies and